good morning from the coldest day of your lifetime. The news reported that today is the coldest it's been since 1996. So, hooray for a record breaking freeze. I hope that you guys have been able to relax, stay warm, stay inside. And what better time to watch a movie than on these freezing cold days? So, despite the circumstances, instruction is going to move on. The show must go on. So, we're going to talk about how we are going to move on with this movie speech. So, you've selected your movie, you've taken and submitted your movie notes, hopefully. Those are due Monday night. If you haven't done so, please do that ASAP. Now, we're moving on to the outline stage, which, when you're writing a speech, giving a speech, the outline is essentially your speech. So, you're going to be, quote unquote, writing your speech. In the movie speech folder, I've cleaned it up a little bit now, so there's not so many things going on. There's some folders, but we're going to go to the folder entitled Movie Outline / Speech, and there's 3 documents there that are going to be useful to you. One of them is the outline content. That basically just tells you what are all the things that you need to put in your outline. So if you like to have just a list of things that you need, this is it for you, but this is just a guideline of what goes in your outline. The actual sample is called Movie Speech Outline Model, and that's where you'll see a better, clear example of what your actual outline will look like. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of this. Obviously, you can spend more time on this yourself so that you can make sure that yours is done well. As always, you need a proper MLA header. The title of the outline is the title of the film. So for this particular student, it was the Wes Anderson film, The Grand Budapest Hotel. The speech, you're going to notice, is very much like an essay. It starts with the intro, then we get our thesis, body, conclusion. So no different than an essay. The intro, we're going to have the background information on the film. I put some details here, so take a look at my note, but you're only going to include stuff that really, really matters for your film. For this particular film, the director, Wes Anderson, super important because he's got a very specific style, very specific way of doing things. So you need to know a little bit about him before you can know about the film itself. For you, it might be notable awards that it won. If it's part of a series, you should probably talk about what happened in the last film to give your audience a little bit of background information. You decide, but pick, 2-ish things that really, really matter to give that background. Then we're going to move into a plot summary, and it should be super, super brief. I will be completely transparent in that this is where a lot of students go wrong in the speech. They end up treating this as a glorified book report. They spend 4 of the 5 to 7 minute speech on plot, and then therefore they have very little time for analysis and evaluation. So your plot summary should take you about 1 minute to say. Think of, the back of a DVD where they give just a few sentences describing the exposition, a little bit of the inciting incident, but not much more than that. You don't want any spoilers, and you don't need to get too detailed. So there's that. Then we're going to get to the ending of the intro, which is the thesis. Your thesis, as always, should be 1 sentence, and it's going to include 2 really important things. The first one is, what are the 2 elements of drama you're going to discuss? So you took notes on all 6. You get to pick now 2 that you're going to talk about in detail. So when you're looking at your notes, which 2 sections do you have the most notes for? For this particular student, it was character and spectacle. So those are the 2. And then the other thing you're going to add is your overall opinion or evaluation of the film. So yes, I'm going to analyze these 2 elements, and this is what I think of the overall film. So this model thesis says, The Grand Budapest Hotel is a beautiful film that uses whimsical characters and captivating spectacle that will delight and enrapture audiences. So from beautiful and delight and enrapture audiences, you know that the student enjoyed the film. You'll also notice, look at our parallel structure here. Adjective, noun, adjective, noun. As always, make sure your thesis is clear, concise, grammatically sound. Now, the order you establish in your thesis, like in an essay, establishes the order of ideas. So according to this thesis, the first idea the student should talk about is characters. And you'll notice, boom, characters. Then we should be talking about spectacle, which if we scroll down, boom. And then lastly is that evaluation, the bottom line. And if we go to the end here, Bottom line, this is what the student thought of the film. So, very well organized. Now, under each of the elements, you'll notice there's the A and the B. The A is the analysis, the digging deep, the hows and the whys, picking apart the character. And then there's an evaluation. I do want to see that on your outlines as well. So pull that directly from your notes. You're not reinventing the wheel. You should have hopefully done this already. Same thing true with spectacle. We've got analysis. Here we're going to talk about costumes, camera angles, things like that. And then evaluation, explaining, was it good, was it bad? It was effective for both practicality, but also for symbolic reasons. It was visually stunning, adding things that are evaluative. And then the very last part, which is kind of the overall recommendation, this kind of functions as the conclusion of your speech. So this student described the film. It was beautiful. It had intriguing characters and spectacle, which is kind of recapping things. And then she decided to give a recommendation. Who should watch this film? Is it for everybody? Well, this has some strong language, some sexual images, some gore. They're used humorously, but it's probably more for mature individuals. It's not specific to children. And maybe after watching your movie, you don't want to recommend the film. That's fine too. But you should give the audience some sort of background or call to action of what they should do after watching your speech. So those are 2 documents that'll help you. The outline itself is going to be due Thursday, tomorrow night, January 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pending we have school tomorrow, I'm going to give you time to work on it and go over some of the stuff in class, but you could easily knock this out right now. Take care of it. It shouldn't take you super, super long to get it done. If you are wanting to look ahead, I did include a link right here to an actual model speech. YouTube is refusing to connect right now. Hopefully this link will work. If not, I'll post it later. But it is the actual student who did Grand Budapest Hotel, so you can see how does the speech align with the outline itself. And this student did a really, really, really nice job of digging deeply into all of her content. So this is an A speech. It might even be a perfect score, which I don't give perfect scores on speeches very often. So that would be a good model to look at. I'll try the link a little bit later to see if it's working. Feel free to email me if you have questions or message me on Schoology. Pending we have school tomorrow, you can ask me questions then as well. But I just wanted to put a bug in your ear to get started on your outline because we should conceivably be starting speeches next week. Stay warm out there.